Hey there, this is Greg, the Masked Gamer, and I'm coming to you with some more Cthulhu Death May Die, Season 3, Fear of the Unknown. Today we're going to tackle Scenario 3, Deliver Us from Evil. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is a place for COVID cautious folks to talk about board games. You're perfectly welcome here if you're not COVID cautious, provided there is no denialism, minimization, or harassment of any kind. With that said, I am filming by myself today, so I can remove my mask, because I hate wearing them too. I really, really do, but I do what I need to do. Anywho, okay, so today we are going to be going up against Season 3, Episode 3, Deliver Us from Evil. And our little lore story guide here says, deep down the Parisian catacombs, Paris, in the place where time and death come to cross their sides, malicious intent defies old bones and new blood alike. A cursed altar has been erected, rendering innocent passers-by and the ghosts of different eras equal victims of cultists and their masters. Don't get lost in the labyrinthine corridors. Ignore how heavy are the bones you carry in your arms and the sound the walls make as they close in around you. To protect the living and restore the silence of the catacombs, the altar must be destroyed at all costs. That is correct, at all costs. Today's dark one is going to be Cthulhu, Ithaqua in their standalone box expansion. Ithaqua is a creepy looking thing in this. I really love this sculpt. He's like looking off to the side and like wispy and creepy and scary. And if you look from straight on, you don't see his face. I love it because it means that you can have him walking towards the end of the track, but you're seeing his face, which I can't really like explain with the way the cameras are set up, but what have you. So who are our intrepid investigators today? Well, being that we're in Paris, we have Stella Fontaine from Rouen, France. Science has many practical applications. For instance, combining otherwise stable substances into something dangerously volatile. The joy of watching things explode is far more common among scientists, and chemists in particular, than people might believe. Stella posits that while the eldritch beings she goes up against exhibit some supernatural properties, they still must abide by the physical laws of this universe. Case in point, oh, I forgot to show a picture. That's her. Hi. Case in point, hydrochloric acid will eat through a monster as quickly as it does a person. Thus, while not all of their properties or abilities are currently understood, time and further experimentation will bring to light even their most closely held secrets. Also, blowing them up is great fun. Stella's got arcane mastery and marksmanship, and her signature ability is chemical explosives. When you attack, you may target one additional figure in the target's space and split the wounds as you like. Second level, when you attack, you have one free reroll for each target. Number 3, when you attack, you may target any number of additional figures in the target's space. Instead of one. And then on level 4, when you attack, deal the full wounds to each target. So she's going to be blowing up bombs, throwing stuff up. This is her little cute miniature. This is Stella. Stella! All right. And let's see what drives Stella crazy. Stella has bloodlust. Each time she kills an enemy, we will put 1 wound on this card. If there are less than 2 tokens on this card, you will take 2 stress. Otherwise, remove all tokens from this card and heal stress for each token removed. And she has a shiny jewel, which gives her one automatic level in her signature skills. So that's nice. Okay. Good for you, Stella. Next, we have Sandra Atkinson from Plymouth, United Kingdom. I'd say this belongs in a museum, but we don't need the patrons going insane. Sandra's love for ancient secrets led her to places she's never dreamed. Finding relics of truly alien races is beyond thrilling. Unfortunately, most of the world's most promising sites tend to be focal points for the eldritch beings and their human cultists. As such, her job requires weapons often, such as picks and shovels. Also, many of the things she finds would not be welcome among traditional academic circles who remain blind to the hidden world beneath our own. Fortunately, those who battle these ancient beings are always in need of more information. I'd say this belongs in a museum, but we don't need the patrons going insane, says Sandra. Sandra's got brawling and arcane mastery, and at the start of her special is Relic Seeker. At the start of her first turn of the game, she will take 2 random relics and choose one to keep. She can own 2 relics instead of 1. Level 2, when investigating, you may claim items without taking serious stress or wounds. Number 3, at the end of your turn, heal 1 stress for each relic and item you have. Number 4, instead of investigating, you may gain a random transformed relic. So, like, lots of relics. Oh, she wild. She OP. She OP. That's it. And she's red. She's a stoutish miniature woman with a pickaxe. Even though I feel like all she's going to do is need to use her magical spells to do the things, and she is red for us. Her malediction is hallucinations. If there are no monsters in your space, move the nearest monster to your space. Otherwise, move 1 monster in your space 1 or 2 spaces away. And her initial relic is the mysterious key. You gain a green die when you are in a space with a gate, and when you run, you may move between gates as if they were adjacent. Enemies still follow. This is going to be really helpful here because this map, I feel like, is going to need a ton of traversing, and she's going to traverse like there's no tomorrow. So that's Sandra. Finally, we have Ruth Weber from Berlin, Germany. Turns out even Heldritch horrors don't check every shadow. As a freelance investigative reporter, I like how my German and my Russian and my Eastern European are almost the same. As a freelance investigative reporter, Ruth finds herself looking into the most unusual situations. From organized crime to shady politicians and even war profiteering, Ruth has seen it all. Or rather, she thought she had. Until she looked into a so-called cult in a small town on the East Coast. What she found was, well, you probably get the idea. Over the years, Ruth has found it advantageous to see without being seen. To her pleasant surprise, these creatures of night and darkness are usually just as oblivious to a knife in the dark as normal people are. She has stealth and swiftness. Her special ability is sly. Whenever she runs, once per run, when she sneaks, she can heal 1 stress. Level 2, she deals 1 wound to each enemy she sneaks past, which is cumulative with the stealth skill, so you could do 2 wounds to each enemy, killing cultists as you run away. Level 3, each time you sneak, heal 1 stress or wound and 1 deal damage to the enemy. And then level 4, once per turn after a run in which you sneaked, if you are in a safe space, you may investigate without waiting for... Ooh, that's nice. Alright. And Ruth's affliction is... she has a traveling fugue. You must move to a space that is 2 spaces away from your current space if possible and enemies follow. Wow. And she also has a ritual mask. If there's only 1 enemy in her space, she is considered safe for all purposes. The enemy does not attack her. So that's gonna stack really well with her stealth. Okay, so let's take a look at Ithaqua. Ithaqua has a blizzard token, which is set up... Oh, I'm gonna switch screen. Which is set up on the light space up on the red gate. Investigators cannot take stress to reroll while in the blizzard space. Whenever an investigator enters the blizzard space or the blizzard enters a space with an investigator, they must take 2 stress. Whenever Ithaqua advances, we will move each Shantak and the blizzard 1 space towards us and summon 1 Shantak at the farthest gate. The cultists of Ithaqua are immune to freezing weather. Shantak. When attacking, if it deals wounds, move the blizzard token 1 space towards the defender. That sucks. Alright, and deliver us from evil. Beneath the streets of Paris lie vast catacombs, hearkening back to even before the city was founded. It is here that a band of cultists have erected a large bone altar, the perfect beacon to catch the eye of their patron Elder One. And for some reason, the appointed hour is 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. The cultists must be eradicated, the altar dismantled, and the bones laid to rest. In order to disrupt the ritual, we must deconstruct the bone altar and place all 6 bones on graves. Whenever the Elder One advances, each investigator suffers the effects of the bones they are carrying in any order. Investigators who do not have a bone take 1 stress. Special rules. Each investigator may only have 2 bones at a time, and bones cannot be traded. If an investigator with a bone dies, place their bone tokens back in the altar room face down on the bottom of the altar stack. Deconstruct the altar. Special actions. Deconstruct the altar. At the altar room. If you have another bone, take a bone from the top of the altar stack, reveal it, and suffer its effect. And if you can have another bone, and then place it next to your investigator board. Lay to rest. While you are in a space with a grave and have a bone, make a roll. If you get more successes than the number of bones already in that space, place 1 bone that you have there. Okay. And our monsters are the Gyathnon, who we fought in scenario 1 as an unknown monster. Whenever it attacks, it heals 1 for each star rolled. And the Doll, who we managed to avoid in episode 2, but might come back at us now. Each success deals 2 wounds instead of 1. And our, oh, I forgot to show all these pictures. Okay, here is Ithaqua's card. Here is the Shantak. Here is Gnathnathnon and the Doll. And finally, our unknown monster for this is a Dimensional Shambler. It will gain 3 green when attacking an investigator within 1 space of a gate. Whenever the Elder One advances, if this is not on the board, it will be summoned at the farthest gate, and then it will move 2 spaces towards the investigator nearest to it. So it's one big nasty unknown. And with all of that, I can take a sip of my drive-through gingerbread latte, which is almost cold, but is so, so tasty. And we can begin with Stella. Now what's fun is Stella gets to shoot almost immediately, and she can attack things 1 space away because of marksman. So she can just go straight ahead and be like, I'm going to try to shoot these 2 cultists on my first turn, which is fun. And, you know, as usual, I didn't roll so great. We're going to use 2 stress to reroll 2 of these, because I can split these. Oh, I don't even have to take 1. I get 1 free reroll for each target, so I get to reroll 2 of those automatically. I get to reroll 1 more with a stress, and I've done a total of 3 damage, killing 1 cultist, doing 1 damage to the other cultist, and that was lovely. I loved it. I loved it. Each time you kill an enemy, put 1 wound token on this card. Boom. For her second action, she is going to attack yet again. Wow, that was a lot of insanity on that roll. There's only 1 target, so I get to reroll 1 of those. Okay, that turns into a blank, which is fine. I'm going to use a stress to reroll the other one. I'm going to use a stress to reroll the other one again. There's a reason for that. Okay, great. I've got the successes I need. I got 1 insanity. And for my final action, I'm just going to restore 3 stress, because why do I want to walk towards that Dimensional Shambler? I don't. That would be silly. I'm not going to do it. Okay, great. Let's draw a Mythos card. My Mythos cards are all the way up here today. The walls are closing in. Move 1 space towards the starting space. Enemies follow. I'm already there. If you have a claustrophobic condition, move 2 spaces instead. So this is going to be like Temple Run. Love Temple Run scenarios. But luckily, nothing happens to me badly there because I'm already on the starting space. And I found some holy water, a spark of divinity in this cursed place. I can take 2 stress to claim the holy water and then I can use that if I'm not in the altar room or in a space with a grave. I can discard this to place a grave token in my space and immediately perform a free lay to rest action. So that'll be nice for later. That's how we add that 4th coffin to the board. Okay, cool. Nothing advances. So we get to move on to Sandra's turn. At the start of her first turn of the game, I get to draw 2 random relics and choose 1 to keep. We have gotten a Sinister Book and a Crystal Ball. The Sinister Book. Once per turn, when making any roll, you may count any number of stars as both 1 success and 1 insanity. It stops counting as a star. Or Crystal Ball. During your turn, keep the top card of the Mythos deck revealed until you draw it for the turn. And then once during your turn as a free action, you may take 1 stress to place it at the bottom of the deck and reveal it next. We are definitely taking that Crystal Ball. That Crystal Ball is the way to go. Okie dokie. Cool. So we get to reveal the top card of the Mythos deck, and this is going to be an unknown behavior, which is going to move this nearest monster 2 spaces towards me. So it's good to know that that's going to happen no matter what happens, which also means that it's good to know that I should probably just go try to kill the thing. Because it will be in a space with a gate, so I'll get an extra die, all of that stuff. Yeah, we're going to just try to kill it. So, our first movement, Sandra's going to move into the space with the Dimensional Shambler. We have a base roll of 3. We get 1 green because of our mysterious key, and we're in a space with a gate. We get another green because of brawling, and we should be able to kill this in 2 hits, he says. He only got 6 health. And on our first roll, we have rolled a miraculous 0 successes. So we're going to re-roll 4 of those dice. We've now got a miraculous 3 successes and no insanity, so that worked out much better. Of course, my stress is now at its zenith, which is not great, and I get to do this again and try to get 3 successes. We can do it. 1, 2, 3 successes. 2 of them are insanity, however, so I'm going to move up my insanity track, and that is enough to kill the Dimensional Shambler, getting it off the board. And we don't know what the next card in that deck is going to be because she's going to have to draw both. But we do know that that monster's not on the board and will not move towards me. The next card is Dole. Move the Dole 1 space towards you. If you're on a grave, move the Dole into your space. I'm not in a grave. Whew, that was lucky. So that goes over there, and I get to a discovery. I have found a map! Secret pathways for those brave enough to find them. Luckily, I can claim the map even though I'm at full stress. Item, map of the catacombs. When you run, you may move between spaces with a grave as if they were adjacent. So I can teleport from gate to gate, from grave to grave, and basically Sandra is already MVP for this scenario, and that is not going to change no time soon. Moving on to Ruth. Ruth can move an additional space when she runs, so that's going to be nice. She's going to be able to move quite a long ways. The problem for Ruth, of course, is that she's going to run straight into this Ithaqua. Except not, because she has sneak. So, Ruth, 1, 2, 3, 4, first action. Second action, sneak 2, 3, 4, right into the altar room with this cultist, who she should be able to handily take out, we hope. Of course, we're going to roll poorly because that's what happens. I want to take out the cultist. I want to take it out. Yes! So Ruth has managed to traverse the entire map, killing a cultist with her sneakiness. So good. So good. Good job, Ruth. You know, she didn't even need to do that because if there's only one enemy in her safe, she is considered safe for all purposes. Well, I already rolled the dice, so it is what it is. Okay, cool. So Ruth made it all the way to the room, which will be great for the next turn. She's going to draw a card. Come with the wind. Instead of gone with the wind, it says come with the wind. Mwahaha. The blizzard token is going to move 1 space towards us. I don't know what this little lock symbol on it means, but whatever. Oh, wait. Because she entered it, she had to take 2 stress. So she would not... Hold up. So she would have taken 2 stress going into that space. She would not have been able to re-roll those 2 dice, because I wouldn't have done it because of the thing. I would have still attacked. So I would have taken 3 insanity, done none damage, and that would have been here. That's how I'm going to resolve that. And then we summon 1 cultist in the blizzard space. Okay. I get to ignore the enemy in my space, so I still get to investigate, as far as I can tell, because I ignore... I'm considered a safe space for all purposes. Enemy doesn't attack. Yes, I draw a discovery card. Travel pack. A useful satchel to lighten your burdens and light your way. I can claim either the travel pack or the lamp. If I claim the lamp, if I have arcane mastery, once per turn I can move an enemy in my space 2 spaces away. But I don't have arcane mastery. With the travel pack, I may carry any number of bone tokens, and if I lose this, paste the extra ones back in the altar and face down at the bottom of the stack. I'm going to take that thing that lets me take more bone tokens. Yeah. Okay, great. On to Stella. So, Stella has a very long, clear path before her. Yeah. And nothing else to really do except go 1, 2, 3 to here. And then she's going to move just 1 more space into this room. And she's going to shoot at the Gyathan from there. And she has rolled no successes. We're going to re-roll one of those, but just one. Okay, now she's got one insanity, and she did 1 damage to the Yamathon. Because that way, at least she might find something in the discovery phase. I'm going to reveal a Mythos card. The Windwalk. Each cultist moves 1 space towards you, and then summon 1 cultist at the blizzard. Okay. Problem is things are going to advance from there. Ruh-roh. But I do get to draw a discovery card because I'm still by myself. School trip. Lost, wandering, and afraid. You are much alike, are you not? I may claim the student. The student is named Harry. At the end of your turn, if you have both Harry and Minerva, what is this, Harry Potter? If you have both Harry and Minerva, take the other side of both cards, which would, for this one, would be a locket, which lets you, as a free action, heal 2 stress. So that would be nice, but for now, it's just Harry the student. Sure. Okay, and things are going to advance because we have 3 of those Mishigases there. So Ithaqua is going to move along. When Ithaqua advances, move each Shantok and Blizzard 1 space towards you, and then summon a Shantok at the furthest gate. So that's 2 spaces, 2 spaces. This is a Shantok. It's like a, I don't know, like a backwards seahorse ghost. I don't know. Backwards seahorse ghost monster of a thing. When Ithaqua advanced, we did that. Each investigator suffers the effects of the bones they're carrying. If you don't have a bone, you suffer 1 stress. So every investigator, whoa, we knocked all that stuff over. Every investigator takes 1 stress. And the Dimensional Shambler is not on the board, so it will spawn on the nearest gate and move 2 spaces towards the nearest investigators. So this little corner of boxes over here is quite crowded. All right, next we have Sandra. And Sandra can move between gates and between graves. So, best way to do this, as far as I can tell, is to go 1, 2, 3 into the altar room with these 2 cultists. All right. Now she can attack. So she's going to attack. Oh, I forgot. I forgot. First of all, I need to shuffle this back in here. And then I get to reveal the top card because of the crystal ball. I must say, it is a little challenging managing 3 characters at once and narrating what I'm doing in Season 3. But this is the way I have chosen to go about things and live my life. And I'm just gonna make the best of it, and that's how I'm gonna keep doing this. And then I'm gonna keep the Mythos deck closer to me now because reaching all the way over there just is. Yo, I'm old. That's all I'll say. I'm gonna just keep it closer to me. The one on the top is going to be the altar calling. Each monster will move 1 space towards the altar room. I do not like that one. So during my turn as a free action, I am going to place that on the bottom of the deck, revealing the next card, which is each investigator in a space with no other figures takes 2 stress. So that's okay, because that'll only really affect Stella, who's at full stress anyway. All right. So I can now fight the cultists. We're going to just try to kill both of them and then hang out. So first cultist takes 1, 2, 3 damage, and I get an insanity. Dead cultist. Next cultist. Oh, there's no gate there. My successes were not on the greens. I didn't cheat. I swear. Did 2 damage to the other cultist, so that is 2 dead cultists. 2 people alone in the altar room, ready to start getting bones. Each investigator in a space with no other figures takes 2 stress. That's Stella. She's at maximum stress anyway. It doesn't really do anything, so I get to do a discovery. Bottle of cognac. Liquid courage to bolster your own. I may claim that. I can discard this to heal all of my stress and discard all of my claustrophobia cards. That's pretty cool. Ruth. Ruth's first action is to heal 3 stress, because that's the thing she's going to do. Ruth's second action is to take a bone, reveal it, and suffer its effect. She takes 1 stress. She's going to then take a second bone because she can carry 2. Take 1 wound. All right, she took a stress, she took a wound. She's deconstructing that altar. Things are going to be fantastic, we promise. And we're going to reveal a Mythos card. The walls are closing in. Move 1 space towards the starting space. Enemies follow. So she had to move. She has no choice. She's not claustrophobic, so that's all that happens. That's actually pretty good. And she does get to do a discovery. Shovel, a handy tool in a catacomb filled with corpses. She can take 2 stress to claim the shovel, which will give her an extra green dice when attacking and laying to rest. We're definitely taking that. Cool, cool, cool. And then we move on to, we're doing really good here. This is going very smooth. All right. Stella is going to heal 3 stress with her first action because of course. And then she's going to go ahead and shoot at the Galacnia. And she does 1, 2. We're going to reroll 1 of those. Oops. Aha! 3 damage and an insanity, but that's enough to take the rest of the monster down. We've killed the Gnakapon. And for her final action, she's just going to heal that 2 stress again because she can't really help them in the corner over there. So she's just going to hang out in the middle of the dungeon like a doo-doo. And her Mythos card is Frost and Horror. Each cultist and Shatak moves 1 space towards her. Okay? Each investigator within 1 space of the blizzard, which is Ruth, takes 1 stress and loses 1 sanity. That triggers Ruth's insanity, so she must move to a space that is 2 spaces away from her current space, if possible, 1, 2, and enemies will follow. And she is going to raise her swiftness to give her a free run action each turn, because she's going to be the person who is mostly in charge of getting stuff done. And that's that. Stella still gets a discovery because she's still by herself. She has found a prayer book. Words of salvation to bolster the spirits. She may take 1 stress to claim the prayer book, or else she will have to become claustrophobic and move 3 spaces towards the starting space. So we're going to take 1 stress, get the prayer book. That, we have 1 free deconstruct at the altar each turn. And when you deconstructed the altar, instead of taking the bone from the top, you may look at the top 2, choose 1 to take, and shuffle the other back in. But I mean, we need to deconstruct the whole thing, so I don't see the value of the second half of that, but sure. All right, we've been really lucky with the draws here, and advancing is not happening, and we're going to move on to Sandra's turn. Sandra's also just chilling at the bone factory. So for her first action, she's going to take a bone. It says lose 1 sanity. Okay. That pushes her to insane. There are no monsters in her space, so she must move the nearest monster to her space. We are going to move that dimensional shambler and not the doll. I do get to level up a thing, so that will be Arcade. Oh, I forgot to reveal the top card of this deck. That will be Arcade Mastery. This will have cultists move towards her and summon a cultist on the blizzard space. That's totally fine. I can leave that there. Yeah, so we're going to, with our second and third actions, we're going to be fighting off this dimensional shambler now. That was not ideal. First attack, oh nice, 5 damage. So I guess we'll be able to kill this thing without much of a problem. We're gonna do the second attack, which is 1 damage and an insanity. I'm not gonna risk a reroll, I'm gonna take that insanity, take that 1 damage, get that dimensional shambler back off the board. And the Mythos card we already know is Windwalk. Each cultist is gonna move 1 space towards me, and we will summon 1 active space with the blizzard. Now we're 1 away from advancing. We do get to draw a discovery card for Sandra. Tourist. The guidebook said take a left, and the guidebook was wrong. Very, very wrong. I can take 2 stress to claim the tourist, which will give me 1 level in stealth, which is actually going to be very useful, I think, as we move through this. And Ruth's turn. So Ruth has 2 bones, so we might as well try to lay those bones to rest while we're here. First action is going to be to heal 3 stress because that'll help with rolls. I get 1 extra green when laying to rest because of my shovel, and I need to get 1 success to lay a bone. And I have gotten 1 success and 2 insanity, so we get to lay this bone here. We're going to lay to rest this other bone I have. That needs to be 2 successes. I do not have Arcane Mastery, so we're going to re-roll one of these dice. We're going to re-roll one of these dice again. Yes, that's the 2nd success that I need, so that is 2 bones on that grave. And I'm going to use my final action to heal 3 stress. And cool. That was very nice. Mythos card. Vile Altar. Each investigator suffers the effects of any bones they are carrying in any order. So Sandra takes sanity. Any investigator without bones takes 1 stress. So that's 1 stress there, 1 stress there. And Ruth gets a discovery, which is the woman in white, who we seem to find everywhere. She's going to take her 2 stress to claim the woman in white, which now gives her 1 level in Arcane Mastery. And that was my search. We are advancing Ithaqua. So Ithaqua moves forward 1 on the track. Each Shantak and the Blizzard will move 1 space towards Ruth. 1 space towards Ruth. Because, the Blizzard entered her space, so this goes up to full. And then, and we summon 1 Shantak at the farthest gate. This is 3, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the farthest gate is still this one in the corner up here. And those Shantaks are coming along. And then each investigator will suffer the effects of any bones they are carrying in any order. So that's another sanity for Sandra. And everyone who does not have a bone takes 1 stress, which is Stella, because Ruth's stress is already at full. And the Dimensional Shambler will be at the farthest gate, which is this gate. And we'll move 2 spaces to the nearest investigator, which is Stella doing her job of just blocking things. All right, so we're going to shuffle this back into the Mythos deck, and then we are going to move on to be Stella's turn, who is engaged with this monstrosity of a Dimensional Shambler. And unfortunately, she's got like absolutely nothing to help except for 1 free reroll. That's pretty sad. Okay. I guess Arcane Mastery up in there. I get a lot of things up in there. Alright, well, that'll be fine. Okay, so I just get to roll my basic 3 in my attack against the Dimensional Shambler. And that is 1 hit. And 2 insanity. Now, I get the feeling I'm going to have to use all 3 hits here, so I'm not going to reroll anything there. I'm going to take that 2 insanity. Because there is 2 wound tokens on here, I remove these and I get to heal 2. So that's nice. And the insanity is going to go up on my Arcane Mastery to give me some extra shots at doing more damage with that. My second attack does 3 damage and 1 insanity, so I'll take that. And then I just need to do 2 more with this last one to get this thing off the board again. And that's 2 and 1 insanity. I'll take it and get rid of that Dimensional Shambler again. Okay, Mythos card. We have the Windwalk. Each cultist moves 1 space towards you. Summon 1 cultist at the Blizzard. Lovely. I do get to do a discovery, which is the Catacomb Guard. You'd think they'd know their way. You'd think they'd know their way better than a book. Perhaps they do, perhaps not. Because I have no bones, I heal 2 stress. And I may, if I did have bones, I may place 1 bone token back. Otherwise, you may place 1 bone you have back in the altar room face down on the bottom of the altar stack to claim the guard. So I can't claim the guard because I didn't have any bones, and that would have given me 1 level in brawling, toughness, and swiftness. So that sucks that I couldn't get that. That would have been kind of cool. That is the end of Stella's turn. On to Sandra. Sandra can pick up 1 more bone and probably should. We're going to heal 3 stress first. No, we're not. Yes, we are. We're going to heal 3 stress first. We're going to pick up this 2nd bone, catch 1 fire. Great. That was my second action. And my third action is going to be run all the way back to this grave over here because I can pass through the graves to get away from those monsters. So I am all the way over there now, even though I can't like do anything with those bones. I'm still like very, very far away, which is nice. Oh, I forgot to reveal the top of the Mythos card deck. That'll be moving the Blizzard 2 tokens towards me. Yeah, that's fine. We'll let the Blizzard move 2 tokens towards me. That's going to give 1 stress to Ruth and 1 stress to Sandra. Is that 1 or 2? 2 stress to both of them. Blizzard adds 2 stress. It's a very stressful Blizzard. I do get to investigate. Bag of Frocks. Throwing money at a problem is occasionally valid. If I had 2 stress to gain, which I don't, I could have targeted up to 2 figures in my space and dealt 2 full wounds to both. However, that's not the truth, so I'm claustrophobic. I must claim claustrophobia and move 1, 2, 3 steps towards the entrance. That sucked. Yeah, and I was on fire, so because I'm on fire, I take a damage. Wah, 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 wah. Bad. Okay. Ruth. Ruth has no gems. Ruth has stealth. When you run, you may sneak once, one enemy doesn't follow you. No, Ruth. Ruth's stress is at a fall. You take any number of bones. I mean, I think Ruth's first action is going to be to attack. So, yeah. Oh, she gets to ignore 1 enemy as well, so that's nice. So we're going to attack the first cultist. We're going to do, yeah, that's more than enough damage to kill one of those. That's action 1. Action 2 is going to be to sneak 1, 2, 3, and I get to heal 1 stress because there was a cultist attached to me. That was my free run action for the turn. So I still have 2 actions left. And yeah, okay. So my second actual action will be to kill this. You know, I don't even care about that because the one on my space doesn't attack me. So there's absolutely no need whatsoever for me to try to kill that thing. I'm going to get a bone, which makes me lose 2 sanity. That drives me crazy. So I must move 2 spaces away. And I get another thing. I'm going to raise Sly up for 1. That sucked, because that was not what I wanted to happen at all. And for my final, I don't want to be in that space at the end of my turn next to all those monsters. I will run, and that enemy doesn't follow me, and I deal 1 wound to it. And I heal 1 stress because I snuck. Okay, that works. Mythos card. The altar calling. Each monster will move 1 space towards the altar room. So that is a terrifying place. We are summoning a Gyachtnathon here, and the Dole would be summoned on blue, but it's not there to be summoned. I do still get to do a discovery. The teacher, a shepherd in search of a lost sheep. They've been down here a while. This is Minerva, the teacher. If I have both Harry and Minerva, I could take the other card, and that would be roller skates, which would let me run too. So at some point, I want to trade those items around. Right now is not that point. Stella is gonna shoot the umbrella, the cultist next to her. That's not an umbrella, I don't think so. Okay, that's 2 successes and a dead cultist. And I have less than 2 tokens on this card, so I gain 2 stress. And I get to level up another thing. I'm going to give myself the extra 2 dice when attacking a target not in your space. I'm going to heal 3 stress. I'm gonna heal 1 stress. I'm just gonna hang out. Just gonna keep hanging out. Just gonna keep hanging out. And that was a mistake. The sound of silence. Each investigator in a space with no other figures takes 2 stress. So that's 2 stress for Stella. Maxing out Sandra. Maxing out Ruth. I do get a card for Stella, pocket knife. Not exactly a primary weapon, but a handy tool, and it's a knife in the dark. I can take 2 stress to claim the pocket knife. That would give me extra attack if I had stealth, which I don't have, but at least I didn't get paranoid. And that was 3. So Ithaqua moves 1 forward. The Blizzard is going to move 1 space towards Stella, giving her 2 stress, but her stress is maximum. The Shantak is going to move 1 space towards her. This Shantak is going to move 1 space towards her. Each investigator will suffer the effects of the bones they carry or take 1 stress. Stella takes a stress. Sly loses 2 insanity. Ruth loses 2 insanity, and Sandra catches 1 fire and loses 1 sanity. Because there are no monsters in Sandra's space, the nearest monster is going to teleport to her. And she gets to level up a thing, which is going to be... I think I'm going to keep moving that Arcane Mastery up. All right, that was a thing that happened. And then the Dimensional Shambler is going to spawn at the space farthest from Stella, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is, as usual, this space all the way back. Well, Stella, that's what you did to us. Okay. Moving on to Sandra. So Sandra is now on fire, engaged with the Gnathanon, has 2 things to get rid of. It's all in all a bad situation. I believe... I have 1 level of stealth because of Wanda the tourist. Ha ha! Ha ha! So, I'm going to use that to my benefits and sneak away from the doll to this grave site with my 1 level of stealth. Then I will do a roll to lay to rest. I have gotten enough successes. So that's 1, 2. We're laying to rest the one that makes me lose sanity. And we're going to do it again. I need 2 successes. I have Arcane Mastery, so that's enough. And I heal 1 stress for each of those I count as success. So that healed 2 stress for me. Let me put the other bone there. That was fantastic, is what that was. Okay, great. Mythos card. I only have 2 more bones to bury. Shantak. The farthest Shantak moves 2 spaces towards you. Summon Shantak. They're all on the board. I get a discovery card. I'm going through that deck so fast. Stale Baguette. A meal or a weapon, it could go either way. I can claim this. When attacking, I have 1 free reroll, or I can discard this to heal all wounds and lose 2 sanity. I don't want to eat that. That's nasty. All right. That was Sandra's turn. Oh, Sandra's got to take a fire. Sandra loses 1 wound to fire. Sandra's got to heal a little. All right, Ruth. Ruth's first action is going to be to take this and take 2 stress. It's a good thing she's at maximum. All right, so how is she going to get where she needs to go? She only needs to go to 1 space next to the doll. She gets 1 free run action each turn. I can ignore 1 creature in my space, so I can just ignore the doll. So my free run action is to move here. I am going to lay to rest. I don't have any stress, so I have to take... Oh, that sucks. I take 2... This keeps happening to her. I take 2 sanity and lay to rest. And then, because I've hit my thing, I have to move 2 spaces away from my current space if possible, and enemies follow. So we're all... She's going to end up here with all of this nasty stuff. Yeah, that's sad. But the good news is, if there are 2 or fewer... She now has an ineffable mask. And if there are 2 or fewer enemies in her space, she's considered safe. Of course, she's got 5. She's got 5. So since she can't kill both of those, she's going to go ahead and try to bury this final piece. And She does. She does bury this final piece. And because the ritual has now been disrupted, so that's nice. And we're going to check for that at the end of turn. It doesn't spawn now. So that's good. She used her one free. She might die. She might die, but that's okay. The Lord of the Winds instead of the rings. The Lord of the Winds. If you are currently within one space of the blizzard, I am. At the end of the turn, we will advance to Ithaqua as if there were 3 things there. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Well, first, all of these things are going to attack. We're just going to go right to left here. We're going to start with the Dole. It missed. That's lovely. We're going to move on to the 2 Shantoks. That is 1 damage and 1 insanity, and the blizzard moves 1 space towards me, which is fine because I'm at full stress anyway. Second one of those attacks, that is 2 damage. Poor Ruth, and then the cultist might finish Ruth off. The cultist just kills Minerva, the teacher, instead. Ruth is still alive and kicking. We are advancing this, which is going to move Ithaqua to my space, which would have happened anyway, but whatever. And when revealed, summon Ithaqua in your space. Flip the blizzard token to its dark side and move it 2 spaces towards you. Summon 1 cultist at the blizzard and 1 at each gate. Lovely, 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 lovely. From now on, when an investigator takes stress from the blizzard, they must take 1 wound for each stress they cannot take. Well, that's going to kill her. Lovely. But at least... Nope. Yep, that's it for her. She's dead. Ruth. Ruth. But you did it. Great. So we would have spawned that. The Shantoks are already on her space. Each of them would have taken 1 stress because advancement happened. The Shambler would have moved 2 spaces because advancement happened. Well, she went out with a bang. For sure. Okay. Stella. Stella can start shooting at Ithaqua or at some other ones of these monsters. Well, I think, as usual, we have to always remember the goal of the game is to kill the Elder One. So we're just gonna try to do what we're supposed to do here. There are 2 creatures in that space, so we'll say that I am targeting Ithaqua and the cultist. Sure. So I roll 3 dice. 1 for this, 2 for this, 1 for this. All right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 sanity. Well, we'll take it. Yeah, that's 6. Boom, boom. Next attack. Same thing. Oh, I got 1 free reroll on that too. Make that 8. All right. Based on what I rolled last time, I'm going to target a Shantok and Ithaqua. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 sanity. Okay. That's 5 damage, so that is 4 to Ithaqua, 1 to a Shantok. Ithaqua is going to advance to stage 3 already. Moving, fudge, to the blue gate. 1 Shantoks are already all there. Each monster and cultist moves 1 space towards you. Okay, blah, 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 Okay, that's not great. 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 Okay? From now on, monsters and cultists gain 1 green when attacking if they are within 1 space of the blizzard token. Well, I killed it, but I'm gonna die. I get 2 insanity. I take that counted as a kill, so I remove these and heal 2 stress. I flip this, which gives me 1 free thing in my signature skill, and I can then use the my final one to raise that 1 more, which will deal full wounds to each target in my location. And I do have 1 more attack, so I get this and this. I get 1 die less, which is sad. I get 1 free reroll for each target. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets. So I get 5 free rerolls this way. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 2 rerolls. We'll keep it. That gives me 2 insanity, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. Total of 5 damage. So we're going to kill 2 cultists and do 1 more damage to that. Is that what I want to do? No, I do full wounds to each target because of my thing. So I do 5 damage to everything. Nice. Meaning that the doll has 2 life left, but everything else on my space has died in my massive explosion because I am Stella the Umbrella. Nice one. Ah, yes, that was so fun. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. Oh, and that was like 1, 2, 3, 4 dead monsters to go on to my bloodlust as well. That's all awesome. That was really cool. I enjoyed it. That was a turn. The Windwalk. Each cultist moves 1 space towards you, and we summon 1 cultist at the blizzard. All right. So these things are going to attack me. We're going to start with the doll. I have some stress to reroll stuff here, so we're going to reroll this. Yep, that's 0 hits, but I do take 1 sanity. I'm going to heal 4 stress because of my bloodlust, and I get to raise 1 of these 1 more space. Let's keep getting that Arcane Mastery up to try to do a big hit later on. And then we are going to get to roll for the Cultist. We are going to reroll 1 of those, and that is no damage. And yes, no damage to Stella the Umbrella. And so we get to move on to Sandra, who is over here. Sandra has a very long way to go to get to that monster. I have 1 free stealth, which is nice. I don't have any way to heal. So perhaps healing is best for now. So we're going to, so we're going to do some stealthiness to move over here. That was using my 1 stealth. I'm going to heal 3 stress and 2 wounds. Yeah. And we're just going to stick with that for now. Just sticking with that. Drawing a Mythos card. The nearest Shantok and the Blizzard token will move 1 space towards me, so I take 2 stress. And we will summon a Shantok at blue. I get to do this last discovery card, which is a Sacred Relic. I can take 1 stress to claim the Sacred Relic, which lets me ignore the effects of bone tokens. That's better than claustrophobia. And yeah. And that's the end of that turn. Bruce dead, of course, as we know. So we will switch to Stella. Stella the Umbrella. Stella the Umbrella hanging out by herself up. She would have to go through. She would have to go through that space with the blizzard to really do anything. She's going to use 1 movement to kind of just gather all of these things in 1 space again because she can do wild shit like that now. And then she's going to attack them all. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. That's enough to kill all of them. So that is, a lot of. I'm just going to leave 4 wounds on there because there's no point in leaving more. That killed everything in her space. handily. I don't see any reason for her to move into that space because she'll be able to get to a place where she's close enough to. Oh no, she needs to. Okay, yeah, she's going to come into the space with this and take 2 stress from that as her final action, because then on her next turn she'll be able to get close enough to kill Ithaqua. Mythos card, the nearest unknown monster moves towards you. That sucks. Shantak, the farthest Shantak moves 2 spaces towards you. Summon a Shantak on red. So all of that happens, and it's terrible. And they're all going to attack her now, and her stress is almost full, and I thought I was being clever, but I obviously wasn't. I'm within 1 space of a gate, so the Dimensional Shambler is going to ravage me. That's not so bad. That's only 2 damage and 1 sanity. I'm just going to suck that up. The Shantak is going to go, which is nasty as well. We're going to re-roll 1 of those. Okay, so that's 1 more insanity. That's all that happened. That's actually pretty good. Moving on to Sandra's turn. Sandra does Sandra can move between gates. Right. Sandra has 1 stealth. Sandra's going to leave that Dimensional Shambler behind and come to this space. Sandra is going to attack twice. We get 3 plus 1 for Brawl, and we're going for Ithaqua. Is that really all I get? I guess so. Yeah, that's it. Oh, there's a gate there too. Okay. Oh, and I keep forgetting that I get to see the top score of this thing. I kind of, no, I'm gonna leave that for now. Fighting Ithaqua. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna reroll 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I heal 1 stress. That's 6 damage to Ithaqua, and I gain 2 insanity. Hallucinations. There are monsters in my space, so I can move 1, 2 spaces away. And I flip both of these. The silver key now lets me get a green if I'm in 2 spaces of a gate. And the Orb of Fate, during your turn, keep the top card of the Mythos deck removed. Twice during your turn, you may take 1 stress to place it at the bottom of the deck, revealing the next. Let me think what I'm going to raise, first of all. I'm going to raise Arcane Mastery 1 more. And I would have had 1 free reroll when attacking. So that's that would have been another sanity. That sucks. Okay. Well, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 6 more. That was my 3rd attack, right? Yeah. So that would have been 6 more, bringing us to the final phase where it spawns on the yellow gate. Each investigator takes 2 stress and loses 2 sanity. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so that heals all of my stress, then makes me gain 2 stress. I get 2 more of these things. You lose insanity again. There is no monster in my space, so the nearest one teleports to me. And I get to gain another one of these, which will make be this. Okay, at the end of each turn, the Blizzard's going to move 2 spaces. Ugh, things are getting nastier now. Okay, so that was my 3rd action. I now don't have the stress to spend, so I have no choice but to allow the altar to call. Each monster is going to move 1 space towards the altar room. And we're going to summon a Ganathanok here, and a Wakadol here. And then the doll's going to attack me for 2 green and a black. I have nothing to heal with. I take 3 damage and 1 sanity. Sorry, that is not true. That is 6 damage in 1 hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so that killed me. Wow. And we advance. Each Shantak. Well, we don't advance because that part. That part of the turn is still. I always forget how this works. Hold on. When I die, we still check the Mythos discard pile. Okay, so the advancing still happens. So, nothing can move towards me because I'm dead. This moves 2 towards the nearest investigator, which is her. And the blizzard moves. The blizzard doesn't move because it would have been towards me. Each monster and cultist moves 1 space towards the blizzard. Okay. Great. Well, it's up to Ruth. It's up to Ruth to save the day. I can attack Ithaqua from 2 spaces away. I do not have stealth. So, my first action is going to have to be to move here. I'm now 2 spaces away from Ithaqua. I get 1, 2. I get 1, 2, 3, 4 green dice. I get 2 additional green. I get 7 green dice. So I get to roll all this and then re-roll 2 red, 2 green. So that's 2 successes on that. That is 3rd success on that. Okay, it's 2 successes, and I've rolled everything that I can basically roll. I have 1, 2. Each of these counts as 2. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. So it is 12 damage, but it would drive me insane to the point of suicide. So we both die, but I have killed Ithaqua. I have won. I have saved the world yet again. Unless I cheated, which, let's face it, I probably did. I'm going to take a little break before I come back for some more CD. I got to cook today, too. That sucks. But anyway, for now, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Do not forget, keep those health bars full. Thank you and have a great day.